I purchased this Vitamix blender, the A3500, about 1.5 years ago, and it's one of the best investments I've made. It's unbelievably sturdy and it can just blitz through absolutely anything. It's just crazy. So in this video, I'm just going to share a few tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. I'm sure there'll be something that you weren't aware of. So let's get to the first one. So when it comes to loading the Vitamix, there's actually a particular order to put the ingredients in. So the first thing to put into your blender is any kind of liquids like water, juice or milk, and then followed by dry goods like powders and grains. Then you can put all the leafy greens in, any fruits and vegetables, and then when it comes to ice and frozen ingredients, they go right at the top. Loading ingredients this way just makes sure that it blends perfectly. I don't think many people are going to be aware of this because I certainly wasn't until very recently, but the lid plug is actually a measuring cup too. So if you ever want to put extra water into your smoothie or whatever you have in your blender, it's surprisingly got measurements on there, and it's something I just did not notice. Particularly when you're making smoothies, you want to avoid causing it to heat up too much, and the best way to do that is actually keeping it on a very high setting, because keeping it on higher speeds draws in more air to cool the motor, and it also helps to preserve its life. I tend to keep it on the highest speed because I just want the smoothest blend possible. I don't think many people show this on YouTube, but when you purchase the Vitamix blender, you're actually provided with a book as well in the box. It has some pretty cool recipes in there, and it's also a great way to know what you can actually do with this blender, because you can make an awful lot of different things with it. You can make different types of drinks, smoothies, milkshakes, juices, cocktails, or you can make different sauces and dips and spreads, including nut butters. And because it heats up a little bit, you can even make soups in there, and also salad dressings. You might be surprised to know, but you can actually make batters and doughs in this blender, and also whole grain flours for baking. And with the smaller pots that you can purchase, it's actually really handy to make baby food like little purees, and the best thing, you can make desserts and puddings. Now when it comes to using the tamper, for some reason I always find that word a little bit difficult to say, but the tamper is actually used to push down the ingredients, especially if you've got the blender quite full, and the best way to do it is to push down in all four corners, and you don't have to worry about the tamper touching the blades because it's designed at a specific length that it always avoids it. I've mentioned this in another video, but I thought it's worth mentioning again of how to clean the blender. It's actually relatively easy and quick. So all you do is first you rinse the jug out, fill it with water halfway, and then squirt some washing up liquid in there. Pop it back onto the base and use the program setting on the blender, and then once it's complete, just give it another rinse under the tap and leave it to dry. Or some people actually like to dry it with a dishcloth to prevent all the dry marks. If you've got ingredients in the blender where you don't want excess air trapped in, when it comes to the speed, start from low and transition all the way to high, and then come back to low again, because keeping it on low will remove any excess air. And a great way to keep things cool afterwards is putting it into a stainless steel jar. So hopefully you found that useful and there was something that you weren't fully aware of. I'll leave a link in the description for this particular model, and I'll be sharing more videos about the Vitamix blender, my other kitchen devices and accessories. So if you're interested, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.